Well, staying in the markets, but this time in Asia, which finished higher on Thursday, taking cues from the rally on Wall Street. The Nikkei 225 rose 1.47% to close at 21,464.98. Over in Sydney, the S&P ASX 200 rose 1.16% to end at 5,909, with the energy, materials and gold sectors among the best performing sectors. Elsewhere, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index closed higher by 1.97% at 31,115.43, with the finance and commerce and industry sectors contributing to most of the gains. Markets in China, South Korea, Taiwan and Vietnam were closed on Thursday for the Lunar New Year holiday. As I mentioned earlier, South Africa's rand hovered near three-year highs in early deals a day after embattled President Jacob Zuma resigned. The currency largely held on to gains, notched up overnight at 11.73 against the dollar, barely changed from its overnight close of 11.72 in New York and not far from levels last seen in March 2015. The rand has been rising since December last year on signs that Zuma could be ousted even before his second term as president ends in 2019. In the meantime, South African retailer Steinhoff is set to hold its annual shareholders meeting on April the 20th. Steinhoff is struggling to survive after discovering accounting irregularities in December 2017, knocking its shares and triggering a raft of changes in its boardroom and leadership. The annual meeting's agenda will include proposals from the appointment of the current acting members of the management board, as well as the appointment and re-election of members of its supervisory board. The retailer added that the proposed adoption of its financial statements for the year ended September 30 would not be put to shareholders at the meeting, citing an ongoing investigation by accounting firm PwC into accounting issues. The International Monetary Fund is forecasting a 5% growth for Malawi's economy in 2018 and by as much as 7% in the medium term. This comes as the southern African nation recovers from a drought-induced stagnation. The IMF says growth will be supported by enhanced infrastructure investment and social services, as well as an improved business environment. Malawi has a total public debt of $3.5 billion, with about a third of that in external debt. Now, lawmakers in Angola have approved a 9.6 trillion kwanza, which is about $45.69 billion state budget for this year, with a 4.9% economic growth forecast. This forecast is well beyond the 1.6% expected by the International Monetary Fund. Angola's economy took a hit from the slump in global commodity prices from mid-2014 and has struggled to recover. The budget predicts a fiscal deficit of 2.9% of gross domestic product. The country's Minister for Economic Development, Manuel Nunes Jr., says that this year's targets could be revised if necessary, and Angola would need to reduce debt levels given revenue difficulties. Meanwhile, the Hungarian government has announced plans to invest $172 million into Angola's economy through various projects. Some of the projects include a line of credit through its Export-Import Bank. At a meeting with the Angolan Vice President Bonito de Souza, the Hungarian Foreign Trade Minister Peter Szijjarto explained that companies from Hungary operating in Angola, mainly in the agriculture and energy sectors, would make the investments, resulting in a 16-fold increase in bilateral trade. And Tunisia's embattled central bank governor Chedli Ayari has officially announced his resignation. Mr. Ayari made the announcement on state television on Wednesday. Prime Minister Youssef Chahid had earlier asked him to step down for what he called a slow response to crisis and outmoded methods. The push to replace Ayari comes as Tunisia is grappling with growing public anger over rising prices, entrenched unemployment, and a dearth of foreign investments. Tunisia had been planning to tap international investors with $1 billion Eurobond sale, and analysts have said that the change at the helm of the central bank could delay that move. Mauritian bank MCB Group Limited has declared a higher profit before tax of 4.37 billion rupees or $134.7 million for the first half of 2017. This was boosted by higher net interest income. MCP, which is the biggest bank by market value in East Africa and the Indian Ocean region, was optimistic about prospects for the full year. Net interest income rose by 6.9%, reflecting increased revenues linked to foreign activities and higher investment in government securities. The bank, which also operates in Madagascar, Mozambique and Reunion, says that net fee and commission income rose by 4.4% in the 6 months to December the 31st, supported by higher revenues from financing activities within the banking cluster and from non-banking operations. Kenya has questioned the decision by credit ratings agency Moody's to downgrade the East African country's debt at a time when senior officials are traveling abroad to market new dollar bonds. Moody's downgraded Kenya's rating to B2 from B1 on Tuesday and assigned a stable outlook, citing concerns about a gaping fiscal deficit for the downgrade. This action came as the Finance Minister Henry Rotich leads a roadshow abroad for new Eurobonds to raise a minimum of $1.5 billion. Moody's says it expects Kenya's government debt to increase as officials raise spending while struggling to boost revenue and trying to cope with higher interest rate payments. But the Director General for Budget, Economic and Fiscal Affairs at the Treasury in Kenya, Geoffrey Mao, believes Moody's did not take account of his country's positive economic fundamentals, with growth expected to rebound to 5.8% this year.